having problems. Low. Okay, I think I'm on now, finally. If you can see this, let me know. I humbly apologize. Having some technical difficulties. I know Yogi's here. Um, if you can see and hear me, Yogi, yeah, I don't need to see all. All right, let me get this stuff straight. Okay. Okay, can you see me? All right, so edit this video because it took 13 minutes to get started, unfortunately. Okay, bear with me. All right, so Perky is the sister that helped me co-host last week. I sent her a DM on Facebook, on Instagram, and I sent her a text message to her phone. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. I'm in an SRO. I don't know if you know, single room occupancy, because I had a fire last year to my house, and I'm still waiting to get back there or into a new place. So, and the SRO is a single room occupancy for people like myself that have been part of have house fires. So I have my own room, small room, but I share a bathroom and a kitchen with I guess 3 other people right now. So that's the long and short. So I don't even have a desk or anything, really room for a desk, like a computer desk so I'm like laying on my bed in my shoulders. But one day I'm gonna definitely, improve my situation. And I'm thinking about getting broadcasting from some workspaces. On a personal note, I'm still waiting on a stimulus, and I got a PPP loan coming in as well to help me kind of build the brand, build everything I need to do live streams. Okay, but anyway, so now that we are there, so about we got tonight is Kevin Samuels or Steve Harvey versus Kevin Samuels. Now, I have to admit, I just finished watching Steve Harvey's movie, Think Like a, was it? Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman, Act Like a Lady. And I actually thought the movie was pretty decent. And I haven't really read his book. I have read some excerpts, and oh, yeah, I have read some excerpts and I've seen some videos on him. And actually, no, this is not a prison uniform. This is actually, if I can get up high enough. Can you see that? That is Ivory Coast Elephants, Elephants, the soccer team. So anyway, this is their warm up track jacket. Come and warm up and play soccer. So I promise I'm not in prison right now. Even SRO isn't quite prison. Anyway, I like orange. This is a light orange as well. I just got this actually yesterday. Long story short. But anyway, we'll see how long that we'll do this video. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we can have a conversation, me and you, Yogi. I don't know if you've seen the movie. Is it Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady? It has Kevin in it. It has the guy that used to date Holly Berry in it, with the green eyes, Michael Ealy, I think his name is. It also has Megan Good is in it. Regina King, not Regina King. I'm trying to think of the sister's name that's in it. But they have some really pretty big stars in it, and Morris Chestnut is in it. Yeah, I would definitely say I saw it. I just went on YouTube and saw the movie. I just rented out the movie. It's like $3.99. It's actually a pretty decent movie. I was expecting because kind of a critic of Steve Harvey. Uh, yeah. So I'm looking at your comment now. Yeah, who hasn't dated? Well, she seems to be happy right now. I think she's dating Van Hunt. and she's maybe a late bloomer because she just got a six-pack of abs at 53, and now she had a man. So maybe finally it works out. For hopefully it works out. I'm at 53 myself, honestly. So, but anyway, the movie is good. I thought that the movie kind of deals with some generalizations, maybe some slight stereotypes of men and women. But at the end of the day, I think the power of Steve Harvey is that he tells some basic truths, about men and women. I think also between basic and like fundamental foundational truth, that really explores holistically culture and the society that we live in this space and time. And I would recommend the movie. I'll probably eventually get around to reading the book as well, because I like to kind of, anything that's relationship, I like to kind of read, get into all that. So, yeah. So I definitely would recommend it. So Perky was going to be the one that talked more about um, Steve Harvey than me. She has some issues she wanted to bring up. But I feel like Harvey and Kevin Samuels, they kind of both hit on some truths, some real basic truths about and I think that's cool. You can glean a lot from both individuals. But I think that, when it comes to dating relationship, I feel like it's a lifelong process of growth, a lifelong process of education, a lifelong process of us exploring and doing the shadow work from our lives, everything that made us feel unwhole and unworthy and unloved and unlovable and unloving and or incapable of loving. We really need to explore that. I make a video that I haven't published yet, more of a breakdown on Kevin Samuels. Um, I think on a real basic level, a lot of what he says is also true, because a lot of what he does is true in the form of he calls women into account, everything, health, the appearance, and other things that some people may find helpful and some people may not, or they may find it whole or not, but I feel like he does kind of, really gets to the, really put people's face of some of their shortcomings. Um so anyway, I guess I'll respond. Hello, Miss Lakers. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming. I started late because I'm using my phone as Wi-Fi, and they say you're really not supposed to do that. So anyway, I switched phones. I have two phones. Switch phones, and this one seems to be doing better. Yogi asked, perfect relationships realistic? No, they're not. But the thing about perfection is you keep trying. You can only sustain perfection for a certain amount of time. Even people like Michael Jordan and others, you can only be perfect for certain times. You can only reach a peak certain time, and then you're gonna fall down. But the real lesson is in us trying to be as good as we can be, the best that we can be. If you want to perfection, call perfection. If you want to call it your higher self, call it your higher self. That's what I think that we have to really be realistic about. Just always trying to be our best. And I'm good, Miss Lakers. Started off kind of slow tonight because the connection was bad. It took me about 15 minutes to get online. So, and it's funny because it's like 8:30, I was like testing it out. Everything was fine. Everything was perfect. And then when it came time to like go online, I had some issues and had some problems. I may have to go ahead and try to get another mobile hotspot. I had a mobile hotspot, and unfortunately, it got wet, and then I had to replace it. And I was just like, let me just because I needed another phone. I needed another phone. I have phones now, and I got a really good deal on the phone. So, I just switched between using those phones for Wi-Fi. But the one I'm using now seems to be working pretty well. Long story short. Um, But anyway, I find that both Steve Harvey and Kevin Samuels are kind of two sides of the same coin in a way. You could say that Kevin Samuels is a little more, I don't want to say, he's a little more in your face. He's entertainment like Steve Harvey, but it's a little less, I don't want to say polished, because Steve Harvey is funny with his stuff, but Kevin Samuels just tells you how it is. So, like I said, I'm gonna post the video that I did, a breakdown on Kevin Samuels, um, very soon. Maybe I'll upload it tonight or tomorrow. So anyway, I did finish watching the movie Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. I thought it was really good. At first, it was kind of annoying, but the more I watched it, it became kind of a cute movie. You know what I'm saying? It kind of like talked about some things, and really, I think overall message is us being the best people that we can be. Um, yeah, neither one of them has had very successful marriages. I would not listen to either one of them or take their advice. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's all a front. Steve Harvey seems to be happy now with his wife. I saw this thing where they went to Africa, and it was real touching, and it really made me think that they're really genuine people, at least to each other. I could be wrong about that. Kevin Samuels, if you know, he's been married twice, and despite some of the things that he says that I find to be really true, he also has said other things, and you can also tell with him, it's about the money. Um, and yeah, both cheated in their relationships. But I mean, anybody, all of us, some truth is and know how to tell it, and how to. Well, let me change that. All of us within us, all of us know some truth, particularly y'all too, I'm sure, Miss Lakers and Yogi. But um, when it becomes more about selling books or getting clicks or getting views, you're gonna about it in a successful way, in a certain way. It's not always healthy or whole. Um, the perfect way to have a successful marriage is to follow that God put in the as it comes to marriage. Well, if two people believe in the Bible and they practice the tenets and teachings of what's in the Bible, and they both submit to that, submission means agreement, then I think that they can have healthy marriage. But despite whatever religion you're part of, is always about being the best person being. Now, if you're a Christian, then you want to walk the path that Jesus led. You want to lead with love. You want to lead with not just obedience, but submission. Again, submission means to agree to. So I would agree with you on that. If I was, I consider myself a follower of Christ, but I don't necessarily. If you're not a Christian, that you can't marriage, But whatever you agree to, you have to stick to it. Hopefully, it's helpful. And I think at the end of the day, I just hear I hear everything you're saying, Miss Lakers. But here's one thing I want to put out there as well. When they say is until death do we part, and I believe something quite different. Well, I won't say quite different. I believe it's until you stop growing do you part. Till you stop growing do you part, not just by death. Because sometimes people outgrow each other. Sometimes people cannot follow what they say they're gonna follow. Sometimes people don't follow the Bible or don't follow the Quran or don't follow the Metter Netter, whatever your spiritual faith is. Two people that are what you call that evenly yoked, that are committed to growth within themselves, committed to growth for the relationship, committed to growth for everything that's around them in terms of their family, in terms of their community, they can make it. I think I said last week I have an aunt and uncle that have been married. I think it's 74 years this year. And they start at a very young age, and I noticed that they follow certain tendencies, you know, and that they respect each other and that they love each other, that they've committed to each other, you know, forever, you know. Now, it's interesting because their children's relationships and marriages didn't quite work out, which is a whole nother situation. But like I say, I think at the end of the day, you take Steve Harvey and you take Kevin Samuels with a grain of salt because you realize that it's about selling books and it's about clicks. Now, I would rather take advice and I would rather follow tenets of the teachings of Iyanla Van Zant. As I said, there's a book that she's written that's really good that helps you develop your own spirituality and your spiritual and puts it into practice every day. 40 Principles, 40 Days and 40 Nights. That book is called One Day My Soul Opened Up by Iyanla Van Zant. That book, because it's a book that you have to read in the morning. You read a principle in the morning and then you say an affirmation. And then in the evening, you say an affirmation and you write down what you learned. And then in the evening, you have to also write down, well, how did you apply this principle to your day to day? And if you do that for 40 days straight, and you know, 40 is a spiritual, 40 days number, that you will actually grow as a person. And that's one great book that I would say. One Day My Soul Opens Up. If anybody's interested, it's not even if you're interested in just a relationship with somebody else, just for your own personal growth and development. Now, before I go forward, let me respond to Yogi's. At least Kevin does an interactive show. He does get challenged. Steve just preaches one way. Yes, that's true. Um, it's funny you say that as well. I think I mentioned this last week. I tried to go on one of his chats and comment, and the thing is, maybe it was this particular chat, I'm not sure, but you had to be a paid member just to say something on the chat. He has it set up in that way, which I found to be really interesting. And I do like the fact that he is very interactive and that he does challenge. He challenges both men and women, not just women, you know. And so I think that's a good aspect. Not everything about Kevin Samuels I find is bad. Like he does speak some certain fundamental truth. Steve Harvey is more of a preacher on the mount, giving out some basic information and you know, some real fundamental things. Because most men, I think, at the end of the day, are simple. We're simple creatures. We want simple things, you know, because we're not so tied up in our as much as women. No disrespect to women, you know. But then again, a lot of us are so tied up in our ego, and you know, and both ego and emotion really are part of the same quadrant if it's not spiritual. So I would definitely agree with Yogi on that. And if you can, uh, you know, check out his show. I'm not here to diss the brother, bring the brother down. I'm not sure that Steve Harvey does. His book was put out like 10 years ago or something like that, right? Or no, at least the movie that was made in 2012. I didn't realize the movie was that old. But yeah, I would definitely watch that movie as well. Okay, so I mentioned one book. Another book that I mentioned that I want to discuss as well is a book by Ken Keyes called Unconditional Love, which is really good. A lot of us say that we have unconditional love or that unconditional love is important, but his book, Ken Keyes, Keyes, is another good book to read. And forget that book. Another good book that I've already mentioned several times, Afrocentric Guide to a Spiritual Union. And I'll put this in the description as well if anybody's interested in that book, Afrocentric Guide to a Spiritual Union. These are the three books that I would definitely recommend to people. Also, another book by Ken Keyes is called Handbook to Higher Consciousness. Very good book. And also, I would say for a spiritual book for us to read, because what I want to do is really promote relationship literacy. Another good book would be Oh God, it just escapes me right now. Man, I lost my thought that quick, which is really bad. Um, but yeah, so the books would be an Afrocentric Guide to a Spiritual Union by Raun Amenefer, Ken Key's two books, Handbook to Higher Consciousness, Unconditional Love, and also Iyanla Van Zant's One Day My Soul Opened Up. So I would say you can still get good things out of both Steve Harvey and Kevin Samuels, but you have to, really commit yourself to doing the work that's necessary. One of the issues or one of the problems I have with, I guess, both of them as well in terms of their content is that it doesn't really take a holistic view on healthy relationships. It doesn't take into account our history, our culture, past and present. It doesn't take into those account either of those things. And it's funny because I posted a picture on Instagram yesterday about how younger grandmothers look today versus how they looked like 30 or 40 years ago. And somebody brought up the fact, well, now young women are having babies at a younger age, and that's the reason why. And I thought about it because the meme that I showed was so interesting, but I thought about it and it was just like, wow, okay, that makes sense. So we really got to ask ourselves over the last 30, 40, 50 years, what's been happening in our culture, that it has actually changed the dynamics of everything dating or courtship to relationships and marriage. Those things that has to be taken into account for people in our community. And I noticed that was not taken into account in the movie Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. That was not really featured at all. It's definitely not featured in Kevin Samuel's talks as well. So anyway, all right. So I think I'm gonna just kind of wrap up this live stream. We have a only so many people that are here, Yogi and Miss Lakers, and I think even Miss Lakers left. But I'm gonna be back next week, next Friday, and I'm gonna be doing Tuesdays and Saturdays as soon as I can kind of break the spell of working. I'm working right now, but I'm also waiting again for this. I got some the PPP loan to kind of build this business that I'm trying to build in terms of the website production and just really updating my website more, and having more time to just create because I do know how to make videos. And I haven't made videos in a while, but just because I've been working so much, trying to keep up, trying to get out of this place. So until I can really the funding comes through, I'm going to be doing videos, live streams every Friday night at 9 o'clock. And if you guys want to maybe put in the chat what you want to talk about next week, let me know. I'll definitely come up with something for next week. I do have on my description if anybody wants to support. I have a Cash App and a PayPal account, and if you contribute, anything you do can help. I appreciate it. Also, and this is free, every morning I do mornings with Mumba, which is inspirational sayings, and then Dear People on my community board. So when you go to my website, when you go to my channel, check that out. And I am using StreamYard right now, actually. I'm using StreamYard. So I just think I had just kind of a real slow kind of internet connection. But yeah, StreamYard is really, really good. It helps with a lot of things, but I'm still learning it. So that's the long and short of that. And so I think I'm going to end it here. I'd like to thank those that showed up, Miss Laker and Yogi. I'm not sure who else is here. But just keep checking my channel. Go to my community page. I definitely want to cover what happened to this brother there was a brother that was a follower of Louis Farrakhan that shot up or that was part of the attack on Capitol Hill or attack on police officers. I'm going to be posting about that as well. So keep checking the community board. Um, and, every day, because I have something new and good up there. And I don't know what the logo is, but I have the logo is a duck, right? And I don't know what's going on. The logo is a duck with like some headphones on, and it says S on the side. But it is StreamYard that I'm doing right now. I had the link to um, your Miss Perky could come on, but I don't know where she's at. So anyway, thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I'll see you soon. Check my community board every morning, and I love you guys. Thank you, Yogi. Thank you, Miss Lakers, and whoever else is going to be watching this on on replay. I appreciate y'all. Hit up the Cash App or the PayPal if you wish, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you guys. Peace. In the broadcast. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. In broadcast. Yes.